Hello, ACMi viewers. I'm Chandler Betts with the first of our series of sports fantasy drafts. Today is going to be the MLB. The rules are as follows. We will be having, thank you, BMAC. We will be having a snake draft. What that means is that the person who goes last in the first round will then proceed to go first in the second round, and it keeps going in this serpentine-style order. Additionally, we will be following the National League rules, which means we have no designated hitters, and the pitcher must hit. We will man for draft pick, 90 seconds on the clock, and if they go over that time, the team behind them can leapfrog them. This has happened before in the NFL draft, and we will be following the same rules here. For picking teams, injuries are not factored into the success of each team. And at the end of the draft, in the upcoming days, we as ACMi will be posting a March Madness style bracket on the new ACMi Sports Instagram page, which will be linked in the description. All right, on that note, we have the first pick on the clock by Ben Clossy. The timer starts now. And I am being told that the pick has been in. So, Ben, if you would unmute yourself and announce your pick.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having all of us, Chandler. With the first pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I will be taking Mike Trout. Obviously, one of, if not the greatest player of our generation, can do it all. Run, hit, field, everything. Essentially, the perfect baseball player.
5-2. I can't argue with that. All right. With that, the clock has started for the next pick, which is Xander Frank. Ben, is there anybody else you could have taken? Was there a world where you could have taken anyone else?
There was very little doubt in my mind. I was very much thinking about Juan Soto, given his performance in the World Series and showing that he's got it. But I think that the only thing that separates them is age, really. I think Mike Trout is still young enough to where he can perform. He's about to hit his true peak, which is really scary, considering he's already won 3 MVPs.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. All right, moving on for the second pick is in Xander Frank. If you could unmute yourself.
With the second overall pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I select Cody Bellinger from the Los Angeles Dodgers. One of the best left-handed batters in the league and the National League MVP. He hit almost 50 home runs last season with over 110 RBIs. Plus, he's great in all 3 positions in the outfield, making for a great second overall pick.
Awesome. Next pick, James Quinn, is on the clock. Xander, how important was versatility when picking Cody Bellinger there?
Well, it was between him and Christian Yelich for me. 2 great players, but Cody Bellinger had the better season last year, as he did edge out and win the MVP award. And he is a much better fielder than Yelich, who often struggles in the field, whereas that's an area where Bellinger excels. So those 2 things, the versatility and the fact that he had a better season just now, plus the fact that he's much younger, only in his 3rd season, are some of the reasons I picked him over Yelich.
Awesome. Thank you, Xander. And I've just been informed that the next pick is in. If you would, James.
With the 3rd overall pick in the ACMi draft, select Christian Yelich.
Yep, just as Xander was thinking. Moving on to the next pick, Dylan Skapetsky is on the clock. Now, James, was there anybody else you were considering at 3?
I was hoping to get Cody Bellinger, but he was taken before Christian Yelich. I don't think there's really anyone else that I was considering. Those 3 people are kind of just like the best 3. Christian Yelich is a 2-time All-Star. He has an MVP award. He's been on the All-MLB first team. 3-time Silver Slugger. He's kind of just won so many awards, and he's only 28 years old.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, James. Now we have 42 seconds left on the clock for Dylan. This is the closest we've gotten so far. And I might remind everybody that somebody can leapfrog. So Sam, if Dylan ends up not making his pick in time, get ready. I would like to take this time to plug the ACMi Instagram page. Make sure to check that in the description. Dylan has his pick in. Dylan, if you would unmute and announce your pick.
With the 4th pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I am selecting Mookie Betts.
Oh, personal favorite for obvious reasons. Next on the clock is Sam Derringer. You're right. I'm going to be honest, I didn't catch any of that. Yes, we have Sam on the clock. Dylan, what are your thoughts about Mookie requesting a trade and leaving?
Well, I think I was surprised by it, to be quite honest. I didn't see that coming. And I think that really makes the Dodgers pretty much a powerhouse next year, so we'll see what happens.
Megan.
Yeah.
Megan.
All right. Oh, what's up, Ben?
Hey, Megan.
This is our additional GM, Ben Platt, coming a little bit late, but that's cool. No worries.
Oh, sorry, Chandler.
You're fine. No worries.
What's up, Dylan? How's it going, bro?
What's up?
I believe the next pick is in. Can everybody else go on mute other than Sam for his pick?
All right. With the 5th pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I select Anthony Rendon of the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, that is the second Angel off the board. Sam, how big do you think that the gap is between Rendon and Trout? Additionally, the next pick is on the clock.
You know, I think it's a pretty big gap just because Trout. Chandler? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just answer the question. I was just going to say, you know, I just think the gap between Trout and the rest of the league is pretty ginormous based on the fact that Trout is one of the greatest players in MLB history. With that being said, I think Rendon is an amazing player as well. I think he led his team to the World Series last year, won a championship, great all-around player, hits for slugging, really good defender. I think he's going to bring the Angels to really great places along with Mike Trout. And yeah, I think he's a good pick.
Awesome. I have just received word that the next pick is in. Andrew Donis, if you would make your pick.
With the 6th overall pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I'll be selecting Nolan Arenado, third baseman for the Colorado Rockies. The reason I'm choosing him is because he's the best third baseman in the MLB. It's kind of not really close. He's dominant on both sides of the ball. He's one of the few batters that's been just around 300 the past 4 seasons. He had 180-something hits last year. He's the best in the game at that position. So it was kind of a no-brainer when he fell to my pick.
Andrew, the next pick is on the clock. The next pick is Brendan McNamara. At this point, with a lot of the S+ tier players gone, did you consider this pick to be just best player available or best player with the considering everybody else in the position?
I kind of thought he was the best player available overall. I considered going for a pitcher, but I decided not to shoot this high that early. And I figured I'm not going to get anybody nearly as good as Nolan Arenado coming around next round. And really, he was just kind of ahead of everybody else that was available.
Can
the best players all
in the chat?
Yeah, the recap. Yeah, we'll put the recap in the chat of players picked, not to bore the viewers. But I've just received word that the pick is in. BMAC, if you could unmute and say your pick.
With the seventh pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'd like to take Francisco Lindor from the Cleveland Indians, dynamic shortstop. Yeah.
Love it. What did you do to get to this pick with some pitchers still on the board? I think every pitcher's still on the board. Other great shortstop like Trey Turner. You could even play Alex Bregman out there. What went through your brain to specifically pick Lindor?
I kind of had my eye on him from the beginning, and I think middle infield is kind of the leader of your defense, and he's a dynamic hitter as well. Great base runner when he gets on base, so I kind of is a versatile tool to build around.
And that's really helpful because he gets on base a lot.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, BMAC. We have 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the clock for Ben. We're near round.
I'm ready.
We have 3 picks left in the first round. We have Nico Martinez. Ben Platt's ready. Ben.
With my pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'll be picking Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, first pitcher off the board. Ben, talk me through that. Next pick, Nico Martinez is on the clock.
It's you need pitching, and pitching is what will get you through the season. And it's with baseball, we all know that not one player is going to do the job, not one big player in the beginning. We've seen, as Sam, you pick, whoever picked Mike Trout first was probably the first pick. But Mike Trout's been in the league a while, but he hasn't made it too far with the Angels yet. And though he is obviously probably the greatest player of all time, I think pitching overpowers a field player right now. So I'm looking to stack up on my pitching in the early rounds.
Awesome. I love the strategy. All right. I have just received word that the next pick is in. Nico?
Yeah. So with the 9th pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'll be selecting Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals. He's a left outfielder. I think he is the best up-and-coming player. He's in his 20s, and he has a bright future ahead. So that's why I picked him.
All right, the next pick, Louis Schreiber, is on the clock. I'm gonna be honest, Nico. I think you just got a really nice steal here. I was not expecting Soto to fall down this much.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. So the reason why I chose him was just because many people will overlook him because he's so young. Think it's a fluke of the postseason, but it's unreal to see him hit 5 home runs in the postseason last year. So great pick for me.
I'm honestly surprised that he went before or he went after Garrett Cole. I love the pick and I love the strategy by Ben Platt, but I think that there's enough pitching depth to take a player like Soto, or there's one other player that I think Lewis might have picked because the pick is in. Lewis?
So for the 10th pick in the ACMi Fantasy Baseball Draft, I'm going to take Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Atlanta Braves. And this is pretty much a no-brainer.
And the last piece that I thought in the first round hasn't taken off.
Not going to go. Yeah. And I had no idea that he was going to drop to me because most of the websites I looked at had him at first. And his improvement over the 2 years that he's been in the MLB is insane. So. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. That was the player I was actually just alluding to with Nico, that Ronald Acuna Jr. was still on the board. But now we are closing in on the last pick of the draft, or the last pick of the first round, excuse me. Minute 10 left for Gabe Rothenberg. And then we're going to go to our snake draft format where he will have back-to-back picks. He will have 90 seconds on both of them. So he will make the first pick and then have an additional 90 seconds. But as of now, I think the draft is flowing very smoothly. And in my attempt to fill time, the next pick is in. Gabe Rothenberg, announce your pick.
Hey, I will be taking Aaron Judge. This was kind of a tough pick. This was a kind of an impulsive pick. Not really the best right now, but all my other top picks were just taken. Yeah, he's straight out of the outfield, so I'll be taking Aaron Judge.
Awesome. And I remind you that you now have 90 seconds left for your next pick whenever you're ready. But I'd like to recap the first round a little bit. I think that a lot of this has been very expected. However, Acuna Jr. falling to 10 really surprised me. I'm going to be honest. I really was expecting him to go floor of 6. I'm very surprised that him. I understand why Soto fell a little bit, but again, I expected him as a very talented player to soar up the board a little bit. But I love all the picks so far. I appreciate the strategy behind a couple of them. The first round is the very best player available here. So I think now we're going to start to see a little bit more strategy in when to pick specific positions and when to see that there's a lot of depth in a specific place and let that position slide, put it on the back burner. And Gabe, moving to Gabe for his pick. What do you got? First pick of the second round.
I'm going to go with Trey Turner on this one. It was between him and Alex Bregman, but I can't go with someone from the Astros here. So I have to go with Trey Turner from the Nationals.
Yeah, I had to do it. I understand the moral code. This will Gabe, talk to me about the trend. It was that and Redmond?
Yeah, I wanted to get a shortstop early, and I just like Trey Turner. He's really good at hitting. He's just entering he's 27 years old, so he's pretty young. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not the strongest pick, but
I like the pick. I was talking about potentially putting him over Lindor. I do like the Lindor pick, but I think that it's not that far away with Turner. And Lewis, the pick is in. Make your selection.
Second pick in round 2.
Yeah, really rough.
I'm going to take Jacob deGrom from the New York Mets. Did anybody get that, or am I glitching out too much?
I did not get any of that. Yeah, I didn't get any of that. I'm going to be honest. Try it again. I can hear you now. Try it again.
All right. I'm going to take Jacob deGrom from the New York Mets. And
all right.
He was originally going to be my first round pick. But, since Acuna fell to me,
yeah.
I'm going to take him second.
Yeah, again, second pitcher off the board. I like it. You gotta be able to fan him down. But Lewis, talk to me about DeGrom over some of the other pitchers left, like a Bieber or like a Scherzer. Talk to me about that. And the next pick is also on the clock. Nico is on the next.
DeGrom is definitely strikeouts is one of the most important things when you're talking about a pitcher, especially in fantasy. And he gets some of the most strikeouts in the league. His ERA in 2018 was like a 1.7. It went up last year, but if he can even get down to like 2.5, that's absolutely insane. So pretty much no brainer for me. I had to take him.
Yeah, I also think that that pick is very nice in a world where we don't have injuries, because he has been plagued with injuries in his career. The next pick on the clock. Talk.
Isn't it Nico?
This is Nico's
Okay,
pick. You're on the clock, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the 17th pick, I'm selecting Max Scherzer from the Washington Nationals. He's electric stuff in the playoffs, and I think it's all about clutch and crucial times. So that's the reason why I picked him.
Awesome. I think we're gonna have a pitcher run here. I think it's really nice you got into this position where you could take one of the top tier players and also get a top tier pitcher. So I know as you were lamenting your draft position, I think it did turn out pretty well for you so far, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, ninth pick's not always the best thing in the draft, especially in this kind of format. But got two great players from the Nationals, and yeah.
Awesome. All right, we have 31 seconds left for Ben Platt.
There you go.
Ben, make sure to text that I put in the chat for the draft pick. Just tell me that you're ready. But
Where?
15. Just don't worry about it. Just, are you ready?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, BMAC. And he's ready. He's on the clock. Make your pick, Ben.
With the 19th pick in the draft, I'll be taking Jose Altuve from the Houston Astros. And though I might get some rap on that, his teammates have came out by saying he's been one of the George Springer came out in an interview saying Jose Altuve would never be a type of guy to do that. I think obviously he did participate in that, but let's also agree, like, everyone's cheating in this game, and it's just a matter of time until teams get caught. And so I think he's a very dynamic player, can play a ton of positions, great tremendous hitter, and he's the type of player that gets you that extra base to win the game. And ultimately, he's carried the Astros the last couple of years. So
I do think that was a very good pick, and him being sort of the cornerstone of that rebuild for the Astros, I think that he can be a really nice cornerstone in the team. The pick, BMAC, you're on the clock. Here we go. We're moving down into the area where we're a bit more ambiguous with the.
I also will say, when you're building a team, you need leaders, and I in the MLB right now, it seems like Jose Altuve is that type of guy. Whether he's like playing well or not, he brings a good vibe to the dugout.
Absolutely. All right, we have 47 seconds left on the clock.
Pick's in.
All right, the pick is in. Talk to me, BMAC.
With the 19th pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'd like to take Bryce Harper from the Phillies. Kind of a snoozer.
Wow.
I know he's had a couple of down years, but he's in the same age group as Trout. Still scratching his prime. I think he's had a couple seasons where his batting average has been down, but has all the ability, all the talent. I think it's just, he might have had an off season. He's now adjusted to his new team. I don't know. I like him. He's got swag.
Yeah. I mean, if we'd done this 2 years ago, I don't think Trout and Harper. So I undervalue just because he's had off seasons in a row. I think that he's dynamic ability to be like a spark plug for your team. I like it a lot. And we have 45 seconds left for Andrew Donis. And as I say that, the pick comes in. Talk to me, Andrew.
With my second round pick in the draft, I'll be taking Pete Alonso, first baseman for the New York Mets. Very dominant as a rookie. Can't wait to see what he's going to do in his second year. He was one of the better first basemen in the league as a rookie, so he's just going to keep getting better. So I think it's kind of a steal in the second round.
Yeah. I mean, if this were easily a top 5 pick, in my opinion, I think that's really nice value having him there. And now we have Sam Derringer on the clock. Andrew, talk to me while I have you here. Talk to me about the value left on the board. How do you think it's looking? Do you think that there is a big gap between Pete Alonso and some of the other players, or do you think it's really close?
Not a huge gap. I was looking at some pictures, but ultimately it came down to I think Pete Alonso is just going to kind of have another breakout year. I know he kind of had a breakout year last year, but like it didn't really count because this is his rookie year. But I think he can just, if he can be any better than that, he'll be one of the better. He's already one of the better. Next year he'll be one of the best first basemen in the league. So if I can kind of secure the corners of my infield, I'll have a good defense and obviously good offense with those guys.
Are you at all worried about a sophomore slump?
Not really. Even if he has a sophomore slump, he'll still be an above-average first baseman. So.
Yeah. All right. Sam Derringer has been on the clock, and his pick is now in. This puts Dylan on the clock. Talk to me, Sam.
All right, guys. With the next pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I will be taking Freddie Freeman, first baseman of the Atlanta Braves. I think when we're talking about great first basemen in the league, Freddie Freeman's been one of the best first basemen for 9 years going now. He's been consistently dominant at his position. He's a great leader for the Braves. He's consistently been a great leader, and he hits for great power and is a great fielder. So I just think an all-around solid pick.
Yeah, I love the pick. Real complete player there. And we now have Dylan Skopetsky on the clock. I'm just looking through a list of players right now, and I think that we're knocking them off in a very expected order. I think everybody here has clearly done a lot of research.
What pick number was that?
That was pick number. Hold on, I'll do the math while Dylan,
18.
who has just made his pick. Thank you, Xander. Yes, Dylan is on the clock with pick 19 now.
With the next pick in the MLB draft, I will be selecting Shane Bieber.
Shane Bieber, another pitcher off the board. Yep. Dylan, talk to me about that one. Why Bieber? James Quinn is on the clock.
After a bunch of other people selected pitchers, I felt a lot more pressure to select a pitcher, but I also knew that I'd want to get a pitcher early on before I got stuck with a bad player. I feel like I could make up for some of the good picks I'm losing in the first 2 rounds, but I don't think I'd get a good pitcher in the later rounds, so I went for it.
Awesome. I like the rationale. Now we have James Quinn on the clock with 56 seconds left, and the pick is in. Talk to me, James.
So I think this is the 20th overall pick in the ACMi fantasy draft. I'm selecting Xander Bogaerts, shortstop from the Red Sox. He was the all MLB first team shortstop in 2019. He's been an all-star twice, 3 Silver Sluggers. He's kind of just got a lot of awards, and he's been great.
Yeah, first Red Sox player off the board. I like it. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to come from you of all people. I think you are the only one in here other than Andrew who isn't a homer. I like it. We have Xander Frank on the board, or on the clock, excuse me, with 45
people
seconds.
on my spreadsheet.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I was thinking about a potential conflict of interest for Andrew drafting Pete Alonso, staying in the NL East right there. But I like how everybody's going. I'm not going to lie. That was not the first Red Sox player I was thinking was going to come off the board. But I don't disagree with it at all. We have Xander, who's been on the clock and is ready.
First, let me just say, if I'd known Xander Bogaerts was going to be picked this early, I would have taken him in the first round. This came as a huge shock. I had planned to take him with my 3rd round pick, which I thought was a safe bet, but I guess not. So I guess with the 21st pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I will be selecting Jack Flaherty from the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I wanted to select a starting pitcher early because, like everyone said, you need a really good starting pitcher to have a good team. And out of all the starting pitchers, I wanted to select someone on the younger side because I think they would be improving. So it was really between Flaherty and Walker Buehler. And I'm taking a gamble because Flaherty had an insane end to the season, posting a .93 ERA and .7 WHIP in his last final 16 starts, which are insane numbers, and I think he can carry that over to the next season.
I love it. We have, in the second round, we have Ben Clossy on the clock with 47 seconds left. There are a couple players on here that I was not expecting to still be available at the end of them. The pick is apparently in. Is Ben ready to take his pick?
Yes, sir.
All right.
With my pick, I'm going to be taking, as Xander mentioned earlier, Walker Buehler. He was an absolute stud for the Los Angeles Dodgers. In 2019, he was 14-4 with a 3.26 ERA. The 3.26 is not the best ERA in the world, but the big thing to me is the 2 complete game shutouts, which is huge in my opinion. And then to go 215 strikeouts, I thought it was a pretty safe bet.
Love it. And might I remind you that you now have 90 seconds for your next pick. Round 2 is done. And like I did definitely have a pitcher run there. And I wonder what the depth at the pitcher position is going to be looking like for people who haven't taken one yet. And as I say that, the next pick is in.
Yeah, sure.
Ben Claus to you. Got four.
Sure. So my next pick is going to be Cubs shortstop Javier Baez. Definitely a bit of a down year from last year, considering that in 2018 he was nominated for the MVP, but in 2019 he did play a sufficiently lower number of games, and he still maintained pretty good stats. He hit 281, 29 home runs with 85 RBIs and 149 total hits. I think he's definitely one of, if not in the conversation for top 3, top 2 shortstops in the MLB.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, in a world where we don't have injuries, I think that's a really nice pick. I'm sure James is going to be a little bit upset about that one. Looks like he might a Cubs player that he wanted. We have Xander on the clock right now with 1 minute and 20 left. Plenty of time for him to work out his rationale, come up with some more statistics to find to justify his pick. We like that. And, yeah, I'd like to take this time to thank everybody who is viewing right now. Much appreciated. We will be having 4 more drafts in the upcoming days. They will all be posted, and brackets for them will all be accounted for on the ACMi Instagram page. So make sure to go follow that as well.
I have a question.
Yes, Nico.
Can you pick relief pitchers?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Yeah, the second pitcher on the roster will be somebody to come in. It can be a starter or a reliever.
All right, see.
Okay, Xander, the pick is in. Talk to me.
All right, with the 23rd pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'll be selecting Alex Bregman, third baseman from the Houston Astros.
All right, second Astros player off the board. I wonder how the comment section is going to be for that. Talk to me about it. Talk to me about Bregman.
Yeah, well, like we all said, no one likes the Astros right now, but there comes a point where you have to put scandals and things outside baseball aside and recognize the fact that if it wasn't for this scandal, there's no way Alex Bregman would have slid outside the first round. He is one of the best hitters in the baseball. Consistently, like he's going to be in the top of the MVP voting in the American League for a while. He had a great season. He's been one of the best players and probably the best hitter on the Astros, who were, again, one of the best teams in the league the last season. And at this point, I couldn't let him slide anymore. So as much as I don't like him outside of baseball, and I don't like the scandals and whatnot. So great player at third base.
Love it. All right, as you finish, the pick is in. James Quinn, let's go.
With the, I think this is number 25 of the ACMi baseball draft, I'm selecting Steven Strasburg, a pitcher. He was on the inaugural MLB first team. He was the MVP of the World Series, and he had 6.3 wins above replacement in 2019.
Yeah, I like it. Steven Strasburg, he was, fun fact, the first pick in the draft where Mike Trout fell into the mid-20s. It's very interesting to see their careers go side by side, along with who Brennan picked along with Bryce Harper. All right, we now have 51 seconds left on the clock for Dylan Skopetsky to make his third-round selection. We will be having the pick is in. Talk to me, Dylan.
The next pick in the ACMi MLB draft will be third baseman from the Red Sox, Rafael Devers, coming off one of the best season of his career, 30-plus homers, 100-plus RBIs, just all-around great season. In my opinion, he was the best third baseman available. So, yeah.
Awesome. You answered my next question about him being the next best third baseman available. I like it. I appreciate the Red Sox pick, obviously. Yeah. So here we go. Next pick, Sam Derringer is on the clock, and it is in. Talk to me, Sam.
All right, guys. I'm going to be following the starting pitcher trend. And with this next pick, I'll be taking Chris Sale, healthy, from the Boston Red Sox. I just think,
All right.
when you
talk to me about it, Sam.
When you look at his stuff, especially in the year when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2018, he's been electric. He's been almost unhittable when he's healthy. And I just think that, when he's on top of his game, he's one of the best pitchers in the league, and especially the AL. And I think that slider is pretty unbeatable. So
yeah.
There you go.
How big of a drop off do you see from him to the previous pitchers taken and then to the later pitchers that will be taken?
Not that big a drop off. I actually might have taken him above some of the pitchers that have already gone, again, when he's healthy. But it's just at the moment, I think the reason why he probably slid is just people think that, since he's been really injured, he's not going to come back in the same way. But I think in a world where we are considering how players have been when they've been healthy in the past, I think it's a fine pick.
I like it. That the next pick might be in based on what he put into our little group chat that we have. But we have a little bit of time left. Yes, DeGrom was taken. All right, we have yes.
With my third-round pick, I'll be taking Shohei Ohtani, pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels. He can hit. That's the main reason that I chose him. I have to have a pitcher who can hit. I think he has a career batting average of 286. That's good for a position player. If I can get him to do that as a above average pitcher too. Actually, I can't believe a pitcher who can hit 286 fell this far when we're going by NL rules. So it was kind of a no-brainer when he was still available.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are watching this that follow college football, I think he's kind of like the Isaiah Simmons of this draft right here. Really versatile player that's probably going to fall more than he should. But I think that was a very good pick considering the rules, considering that we're following NL rules. And additionally, I think it's, of course, he didn't have as much direct control over this, but I think it's interesting that he plays in the AL when he's such a strong NL hitting pitcher.
Yeah, I think he should be in the NL.
Yeah, but that definitely gives you an extra dimension to work with. All right, and we have Brennan McNamara on the clock with 35 seconds left. Here we're looking. All right. I think the pick's in.
With the next pick in the ACMI MLB draft, I'm going to stay with the pitchers and go with Clayton Kershaw, the LA Dodgers. As my pitcher, I like a lefty. I love a lefty, similar to Sale, tough to hit, has great breaking balls. I don't know. He's also not a bad hitter as well. So, but I'm betting on him being him wheeling and dealing, and doing damage like he has been. I think last year it's a little bit of a down year, but for his career, he's one of the better pitchers in the last decade, no doubt. So, like that pick.
Yeah, I think that was a very strong pick. We now have Ben Platt on the clock. Fun fact about Clayton Kershaw. For those of you who follow football, he was a lifetime friend of Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. They grew up together, and we now have the pick in. Ben Platt, what do you got for me?
With my pick, I will be picking another pitcher from the New York Mets, Noah Syndergaard.
Oh, second Mets pitcher off the board.
I think recently he's been pretty actually underrated and kind of like went silent, but like Garrett Cole, kind of a similar pitcher, high fastball, can go deep in the game. And thinking long term, these are two guys like without injury, no precautions. He's been unstoppable when not injured or not worried by injuries. So
absolutely,
both pitchers can't be touched right now. I feel like that I have. So yeah.
That's gonna prove too. All right, we have Nico. Talk to me.
All right. So with the next pick in the ACMI fantasy baseball draft, I select Fernando Tatis Jr. from the San Diego Padres. When he's healthy, he's unreal. In 334 at bats, he was hitting 317 before getting injured, and I think when he's completely healthy, he's unstoppable. So that's the reason I picked him.
Yeah, I love it. Working on the infield right there. We have Louis Schreiber on the clock. 1 minute and 27 seconds. A lot of time. Nico, what were you thinking about that pick? What are you thinking about anybody else? You don't have to say who.
Yes, I mean, I'm sticking.
You have a very strong at this time.
So like I'm sticking with a lot of people who will have potential as well, not just who are good right now, but in the foreseeable future will be on very good players. So that's the reason I picked him.
Awesome. We have Lewis, who is ready for his pick. Lewis, unmute yourself.
All right. So for my pick in the third round of the MLB fantasy draft, I'm going to take a Trevor Story, shortstop for the Colorado Rockies. And I'm pretty happy that he felt to me. I think maybe he was going to get taken a little higher in the third round, but a lot of people were taking pitchers. And I think he's not only one of the better defensive shortstops in the game, but he's also a pretty good hitter. He hits like about 300 last year, 170 hits. So definitely a good pick for me.
All right. Thankfully, I have a list of players in front of me because I just pieced that together. I am like 99% sure you picked Trevor Story. Am I right in saying that? Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, we have next player, Gabe Rothenberg. The pick is in as I say that. Awesome. Talk to me, Gabe.
All right. The next pick for the ACMI MLB draft, I'm going to go with Justin Verlander, pitcher from the Houston Astros. I don't know. Last round, I made two very interesting picks. I wouldn't say they're very good. So it was hard to see this round. Most of the players I'd wanted to pick were picked by other people, so that kind of hurt.
All right. Dave, I'm going to talk. That was the end of the third round, or that was the end of the third round, yes. And you were on the clock again at the beginning of round 4. And I would like to take this time to tell everybody, I know that we are all, I assume we're all inside watching this right now. We're all in our individual houses doing this. Make sure to stay safe, stay inside. It is, as I found out yesterday, it's no longer distancing. It's not physical distance, but more specific about it. Yeah, so everybody stay safe. These are tough times for everybody. Make sure to take every precaution you need. CDC now suggests that you wear face masks outside. I know at one point, I'm not sure if he is anymore, but Xander, one of our GMs, was wearing a face mask.
Stay safe, Chandler. Good looks, bro. Stay happy.
We have seconds. We've got 30 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, okay. I already said the.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I just got it. Pick. Talk to me.
All right. For the next pick in the ACMi MLB draft, the first pick in round 4, I'm gonna go with Anthony Rizzo, first base from the Chicago Cubs.
Gosh, James, all these Cubs players have fallen off the board for you. All right, we have Lewis Schreiber on the clock. And Gabe, I want to talk to you about these last 2 picks, specifically the one before that.
Yeah.
I remember last we were between. Couldn't pick an Astros player. It was Bregman, I think it was.
You know that, yeah. And then I had this list of all these players, and everybody just picked the ones I wanted. Justin Verlander seemed like one of the better pitchers that was left. I wasn't left with too many options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I hope everybody here will hire managers that run a tight clubhouse where we won't have any trash cans of any sort in center field. That will be that's the one rule I didn't talk about. No trash cans. Is ACMi 35 on the clock. Pick. Hopefully we have better connection this time.
All right. Can people hear me this time?
More, yes.
All right. So the second pick in the 4th round, I'm going to be taking Luis Castillo from the Reds, partly because he's my namesake. And he's also, ERA isn't the best, but he does have he did get 15 wins last year for his team, and he gets pretty decent strikeouts. So I wanted to. Oh wait, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was I think I like the pick. I personally would have gone one pitcher above him, but I very much like the pick. I think it's nice. I think that it puts you in a good position for the rest of the draft. And we have Nico Martinez on the clock. Lewis, talk to me about this. When you came into this draft, did you have like one theory, one like plan?
I kind of did, but as the draft went along, it got messed up a lot, especially with Ronald Acuna Jr. falling to me. I don't know if anybody can hear this right now.
I can mostly hear
Lou,
you.
I'm not getting anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Gabe, for those of you who cannot see our chat, for the viewers at home, our GM Gabe just said that we should all invest in better Wi-Fi. I agree with that.
Lou, baby, should invest in. I'm chilling.
I mean, I can't even. I
Oh,
can't even.
hello,
Front. I
baby.
probably should too. Yeah. All right. The pick for Nico Martinez is Talk to Me.
So with the third pick in the fourth round, I'm selecting a second baseman, Gleyber Torres, the New York Yankees. I think that he had an unreal postseason, second best player in the postseason last year with a .324 batting average, and 3 home runs. I think that's the reason I picked him.
Yeah, and especially because since we are not an entire league, we are only 11 teams. You're really going against the cream of the crop here, especially on the mound. So I think that clutch gene is going to be very important.
Yeah, we gotta.
And
yeah.
As I say that the next pick is in, we have Ben Platt. Talk to me.
I was just praying I was going to get to this guy. I don't know if anyone was thinking of him, but this guy is possibly one of the next great shortstops of all time in Bo Bichette from the Toronto Blue Jays. He's excellent player. I mean, has like tremendous potential, and he could go some places. I think him working with Jose Altuve, as Jose Altuve is a veteran, I think that's going to really work out. That's probably the best middle infield you can get, and he even as such a young player coming in halfway through the season last year, he's just gonna explode after this. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm very interested that you were waiting for him to pick. I like the use really nice double plays right there.
Yeah.
That will now put that'll now put BMAC on the clock. I just want to check in with this is not for the viewers, this is for everybody, all of our GMs. How's my connection? Is my connection fine right now?
It's pretty bad.
Good at best.
Okay, perfect.
I will say, Bo Bichette has a dumper. So he's solid.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, BMAC's in. Talk to me. What do you got?
Yeah, I know I'm gonna get some looks on this pick, but another guy I like. I mean, I don't actually like much, but reliable with my pick, fourth round in the ACMi MLB draft, going with Manny Machado.
Oh,
it's gonna be my third baseman. I don't love him. He's in that category with like a Bregman type of guy where you just kind of hate him, specifically since they played the Sox in the World Series. He's a little chippy, but there's no denying his talent. I need a good third baseman, great hitter. I like him. A little bit of swag. Swag in the clubhouse. So I like my pick.
Yeah, this is. I will say so far, I think your team's probably going to sell the most jerseys. I'm going to be honest. I think you got with Kershaw, Harper, and Machado. I think you got the bag there. It's a very nice investment.
Oh yeah, it's pisser, dude.
The pick is in. Andrew Donis, talk to me. And this puts Sam Derringer on the clock.
I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I'm gonna take Carlos Correa, shortstop for the Houston Astros. He hasn't been healthy all the time, but when he is, he's one of the better shortstops in the game. I know you guys hate him because he's on the Astros, but he's just been really good, and I've I needed a pair with Trevor Story, but he's gone, so I just went with Carlos Correa.
Yeah. A lot of disliked players are being taken in round 4. It looks like a lot of players. GMs are realizing they can temporarily put their more some good all people.
Yeah, I got all of that, man. I got all of that.
Jen, I'm not hearing you on this end,
yeah. Don't worry about it. It was a bad joke. Don't worry about it. Speaking of that, picks in Sam Derringer.
Okay, guys. I know it's an NL draft, but with this next pick, I'm going to be going with JD Martinez, left fielder of the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, I think people might have been a little bit scared of his DH.
I know he's not.
Yeah, in left field.
I know he's not the greatest fielder, but I thought his hitting sort of makes up for that. He's one of the best hitters in the game when healthy. He can hit for average. He can hit for home runs. He can hit for RBIs, and he has a great on base percentage. And I thought that was really beneficial to the team. So that's why I took him.
All right. So the next pick is in Dylan Skopetsky.
So with the next pick in the draft, I'm going to be drafting second baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte. Solid pick.
All right, talk to me a little bit more about that.
Well, I had my heart set on picking a second baseman, and I thought he was the best second baseman available. See how simple is that? He had a solid season, good hitter, can play some defense. That's what I'm looking for.
All right, we have James Quinn on the clock now as we near the end of the fourth round. All right, pick is in. Talk to me.
So with my pick in the fourth round to ACMi fantasy baseball draft, I'm taking Carlos Santana. From the I'm using my first base. I wanted a first baseman. He was a 2019 All-Star starter and a Silver Slugger in 2019. I think that's going to be pretty helpful.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice pick. I think that there is a decent amount of depth at the position, but I can't say that I don't like the pick. We have Xander Frank on the clock now with 51 seconds left. Still a lot of talent to go around. I mean, that's the nature of having an 11-person draft. A lot of picks. I think most of the picks are going to be very talented, all-star, fringe all-star players. Yeah, I think we have Xander specifically has a lot of talent on the board, and let's see what he takes left. It's his pick. He's ready.
Yeah, all right. So with the 42nd pick in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I will be taking Javier Baez, shortstop from the Chicago Cubs.
Javier Baez was already taken. I'm like 99%.
Wow, come on, Xander.
I recorded everyone who was taken.
You missed one.
Did
He
somebody
was
take
taken.
it?
You missed one, Ked.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Jose Ramirez.
Still have seconds.
Then I'll take Jose Ramirez, third baseman from the Indians.
Got it. Yeah, see, that's the biggest flaw of our process right now is.
I felt like Baez had already been taken, but I didn't see him on my list.
Nice one, Xander.
Who, out of curiosity, who took him? That's fine. You can text me.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben Clossy is currently having some technology issues. So
We're back.
we're back. We're good. Okay, perfect.
Chilling.
All right. You're on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Talk to me.
So, a bit of a controversial pick for myself, given my personal biases, but with my pick, I'm going to take DJ LeMahieu, second baseman, New York Yankees. Absolutely breakout year next year. MVP candidate in the AL. He was so huge, such a big part of their success. And again, he's a very versatile player. He's great defensively, great offensively.
All right, you are on the clock again. That was the end of the fourth round, 4 of 11. So now we're moving into round 5, almost halfway done with the draft.
Should I speak about my selection since due to the mishaps?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so Jose Ramirez had a bit of an off year last year, but conspiracy theory, it was only because of the birth of his child, because that the part of the season last year where he played poorly was the part of the season where his child had just recently been born. At the end of the season, he returned to top form. I'll slide Bregman over to shortstop, have one of the best switch-hitting third basemen in the league. It's a solid pick in the fourth round. I think I'll have a bounce-back year.
Yeah. I think that the conspiracy theory does not go unnoted, but I think it's very interesting. I don't know why I'm going to question whether this is a stupid question, because I'm sure it is. Do you think that's why he fell?
Yes, 100%.
Awesome.
That had to be what was going through everyone's mind when not selecting him in the first 4 rounds.
Understood. Got it. Going to move off of that very quickly. Get ready for your next pick because you're on the clock now, Xander. Ben Clossy, first pick of the 5th round. Talk to me.
My next pick, I'm going to be taking Zach Greinke, pitcher, Houston Astros. Bounced back between the Astros and the Diamondbacks last year, but he kept an ERA under 2.9, which is huge. Super solid starter all around. Strikeouts are good. Hits are good. Genuinely great all around pitcher who, as we saw, can pitch in the NL and the AL.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was a really nice pick. That was one of the pitchers on the board that I was not expecting to fall this much. But yeah, I think that's a really nice value pick. We have 50 seconds left for Xander Frank to make his first selection or his only selection in the 5th round. These teams are starting to fill out. We're starting to get into positional needs rather than best player available. So now here's where the real strategy is going to come in for the draft. All right. The pick is in. All right, talk to me, Xander.
All right, so with the 46th pick in the ACMi MLB Fantasy Draft, I will be selecting second baseman Ozzie Albies from the Atlanta Braves.
He was already picked, I think.
Are you serious? No way.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Don't scare him like that.
Okay, I'm pretty
My
sure I
bad,
didn't make All right, well, I already have some switch hitters on my team. Switch hitters are something I like. They usually have a high batting average. He's one of the best hitting second basemen available. He's hitting behind Acuna, which is always a big consideration for RBIs, something you have to take into account. So he's a great 2-hole hitter, great second baseman, good fielder, and a switch hitter. Great asset.
Yeah. I like the pick. And speaking of the pick, James Quinn's pick is in. Talk to me.
With my pick in the 5th round, I'll be taking Tommy La Stella. He was an all-star in 2019. He didn't get to play because he got hurt. He was hitting 300 before he got injured. And because we're not factoring in injuries, I think he's going to be a really strong player.
I'm sorry, can you say the name again?
Tommy La Stella, Angels second baseman.
All right. And I heard the analysis. Yeah. We are moving on for Andrew Donis on the clock.
The pick is in.
All right. Talk to me.
I'll be taking Lorenzo Cain, center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers.
All right.
The reason behind that is I've got a really solid infielder right now, and I know he's a good hitter, but he can also kind of lead the outfield. So if I go for right and left field kind of in the later rounds, I won't be struggling with the outfield defensively.
Much you adhere to outfield positions, like keeping all your center fielders as a center fielder, left at left and right at right?
What was that?
Are you playing your outfielders, or are you drafting your outfielders as specifically center fielders, left fielders, and right fielders, or just as outfielders?
No, I'm just going outfielders.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So if I can get center fielders, that'd be good because they're kind of the leaders.
Yes. All right. So we have 45 seconds left on the clock for Brendan McNamara. Oh, I think we might have missed a pick. Wait, no, we didn't. Hold on 1 second. Did I make a mistake? I think I might have made a mistake. Hold on. Dylan, unmute for a second.
Yeah.
Did you make a 5th round selection?
No.
Oh, well, you're on the clock. I think I skipped from
What
James
is
to
this?
Andrew. I think I skipped
Dang,
from
that's
James to
tough.
Andrew.
You and Andrew's after me. Wait, what?
Yes.
Wait, what?
So
I'm after
that's
Sam.
fine.
Yeah. Were any
Zero to handicap.
Were any of you taking Lorenzo Kane?
No.
No.
All right, we're fine.
Okay, that's
Some
my fault. I
doo-doo. That's some
apologize.
doo-doo.
All right, so is it my pick?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
Lorenzo Kane's got a dumper.
Yeah, just going on some YouTube. So let's like, what do you?
He's got it. No.
All right, the pick is in.
Awesome. Talk to me.
So the next pick in the MLB draft, I'll be drafting outfielder George Springer from the Houston Astros. Sidelined with an
right.
injury, but if he wasn't injured, would have had an even better season than he had.
Yeah. And I like that. Yeah, especially in a world without injuries, that's going to be very important. You don't have to worry about the best ability being availability. Best ability is just ability in this.
Yeah, he hit 39 homers in 122 games.
All right, is on the clock.
Am I on the clock? Who's on the clock?
Who's up? I'm up, right?
But wait a second.
Thought you just said I was up last one.
Sam's up.
Yeah,
Sam's
I was
up.
wrong. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Chan man skanking me.
Talking with Sam, thought that. Yeah, so Sam is on the clock, and then you have the next pick, Brennan. .45 seconds left for Sam. All right, the pick's in. Talk to me, Sam.
All right, guys, get ready. The first catcher is coming off the board. With this next
All
pick, I'll
right.
be taking JT Realmuto from the Phillies.
All right. Sam, why do you think this puts BMAC on the clock? And I think that Hick is talk to Sam just for a couple seconds. Why do you think that catchers fell so far?
You know, Chandler, I don't know. I think generally the catcher position in the MLB is a little weaker than some of the other positions. I feel like third base and more infield positions are stacked, and I think GMs were jumping and taking players from those positions. But I think that you can't sleep on the catcher position, especially JT Realmuto, who I think is by far the best all-around catcher in the MLB. And I want to snag him right here before anybody else did.
Awesome. Like it. Next pick is in. BMAC, talk to me.
With my sixth pick, just to pad up my middle infield. They're kind of interchangeable, but I'm going to draft D.D. Gregorius from now with the Phillies. He's young, definitely a very dynamic fielder. I think him and Lindor in the middle infield, two quick guys, good hands. They're kind of interchangeable. Both shortstops, but either could play either. So, but yeah, he's young. He's got potential, and he's just scratching the surface. So,
yeah, back-to-back Phillies taken, and this will bring us to Ben Platt, who is now on the clock. And 1 second. All right. 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 As this draft is forming out, I want you guys to start to think about who looks the best for this March Madness style bracket coming up. And as I say that, Ben Platt's pick is in. Talk to me.
With my pick in the draft, I will be taking Wilson Contreras from the Chicago Cubs, the catcher. I think with such a strong middle infield, and my infield overall has been so strong, catchers are kind of the root of it, and he's shown his hitting has only gotten better from the beginning of his career. He's still a really young guy, has great energy, good clubhouse dude, and one of the best defensive catchers. And also, as I stacked up on pitching early, it goes both ways with pitching. So pitchers need good catchers. So I think that with a good catcher behind the plate, pitchers it's gonna make the pitchers even more effective with what they're throwing and in sync and whatever. So that's my pick.
Yeah. All right. I like it. This puts Nico on the clock. Pick is in. Talk to me, Nico.
With my next selection in the ACMi MLB fantasy draft, I select Chris Bryant, third baseman for the Chicago Cubs. I don't know why anyone did not pick him, but he's a great third baseman. He's got a lot of talent, and he's about to hit his prime. So here you go.
Yeah, I like it. World Series champion.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have that experience in your team. I like the pick. That will be putting Louis Schreiber on the clock. Gosh, I feel like we haven't heard from the back end of this draft in a while.
Can the last two picks be repeated?
It was, who was it?
Wilson Contreras and
Yes.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, back-to-back Cubs. And then let's see if Louis Schreiber is going to continue this. Oh, I have literally no idea. I have no idea. I don't think so. Okay. This next pick might have already happened. Louis, talk to me.
So for my pick, I'm gonna take Gleyber Torres from the New York.
Yeah, buddy. No,
He was picked.
He was
Yeah,
picked.
I thought
He was
so.
picked. He was picked. He was picked. He was picked. He.
You have a minute left on the timer for your pick.
Dude, you can't hear him.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
And I'm gonna take
Just text it. Oh, okay. Yeah, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Bad baby.
Third baseman from the Toronto Blue Jays. Of course, son of great MLB player Vlad Guerrero Sr. of the Los Angeles Angels. And as this happens, we have Gabe Rothenberg on the clock with a minute 30. The pick is in. All right, talk to me, Gabe.
All right. I don't know. This is a tough round. For the next pick of the ACMi MLB draft, I'll be going with Ramon Laureano from the Athletics. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. I probably did not. Yeah, center field.
Well, regardless of whether it was picked pronounced correctly or not, first Moneyball player gone. And that finishes round 5. All right, you're back on the clock with 90 seconds. All right, the pick is in. Talk to me, Gabe.
All right, I'll be taking Brandon Lowe, third base. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of out of picks here.
Yeah, now you're just filling positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, point. Why specifically him? Why specifically Lowe?
I'm kind of a fan of him, and I thought that he was like one of the better ones that was left out of the people who were left. I don't know. There aren't too many third basemen.
Yeah. Yes, this puts Lewis Schreiber on the clock. The pick is in. Yes, it is. Lewis, talk to me.
Alright, I'm going to take Paul Goldschmidt from the St. Louis Cardinals.
All right. Player's been around for a while now. Talk to me about that at first base. Why do you think it was good to wait this long for first base?
Well, I mean, after Cody Bellinger and Pete Alonso were off the table, it was kind of all the star players at first base position.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul Goldschmidt, not really a sleeper pick, but definitely a high draft choice. So I'm glad to get him here.
Yeah. Might have been nice that you got him here because the pick is in for Nico Martinez. Talk to me, Nico. And this also puts Ben Platt on the clock.
So with the next pick, the ACMi fantasy baseball draft, I select Charlie Blackmon, outfielder, Colorado Rockies. I had to pick him. I heard it was a plan to someone else's GM, so I had to just take him away. You know, you gotta take away people in the draft, so that's why I chose him.
Ruth it. Yeah, surprised that he fell this far.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Ben Platt is ready. Was it you who was going to take Charlie Blackmon?
That's a dirty move, buddy. That's a dirty move. See, with my baseball team be playing like that. Well,
playing for Blue.
I got as so far I've stacked up my team with solid clubhouse guys. There'll be no reason for that type of play like Nico. But
of course, yes.
My pick, I'll be taking Max Muncy, very versatile player, as I haven't selected anyone at the first and third spots yet. So he can play both of those very effectively. He's a clutch hitter, time and time again in the playoffs and postseason. He's stepped up to the challenge. Many home runs. RBI guy, puts up 100 RBIs, 30 plus homers every time. Creates a lot of power. Good fielder, and a strong player all around. Who's going to get you those key hits.
Yeah, I really like the pick. I think that is the last player that I think has really, really fallen a lot. This will put Brendan McNamara on the clock. He now has 22 seconds left.
Oh.
Pushing on 10. All right, talk to me. 8 seconds left. That's almost a buzzer beater. Talk to me.
Sorry, a little late on that one, but to mix in a little seasoned veteranship into my clubhouse, also all reliable first baseman, I'm gonna go with Joey Votto.
Yeah.
I think that's a good mix of young cats with a guy who's been around for a while. Still can be very effective as a hitter. reliable first baseman. So I think that's a good pickup for a 7th round first baseman.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sticking with the selling shirts. They're gonna sell a lot of shirts in Canada there.
Yes, sir.
His coming from there. All right, we have Andrew Donis on the clock in the
the pick is in.
All right.
I'm gonna go with catcher Yasmani Grandal as long as he's available.
Yes,
he is available.
He is.
All right, then I'm gonna go with him. MLB.com has him ranked as the best catcher for the next upcoming season. He was the 3rd best last year. He's just been really good. Personally, I think JT Realmuto is a little better, but that might be a little bit biased because I'm a Phillies fan.
Of course.
No, he's been solid. Both on the field and at the plate. So, and I need a catcher at this point. So it was just kind of easy for me to take a good catcher this late.
Yeah. We have Sam Derringer on the clock. 56 seconds left. The pick is in. Talk to me.
All right, y'all. So with this next pick, I need some youth in the clubhouse. So I'm going to be taking Yoan Moncada, second baseman of the Chicago White Sox. He's really has an insane amount of potential. He was showing a lot of promise in this past year, and I need a second baseman. And I thought, what a great way to bring in some youth to the clubhouse and just pick up Yoan Moncada.
Yeah, old Red Sox player. And the pick for Dylan Skopetsky is in right now. Talk to me, Dylan.
Yeah, so with my pick, I'll be picking Josh Donaldson of the Minnesota Twins. And he only played 52 games in 2018, but then he bounced back, hit good power hitter. I'm going to be playing him at shortstop instead of third base. Fill out that infield. Yeah, he's a solid player.
Yeah, I like it. That puts James Quinn on the clock with a couple picks left in the 6th round. Pick is in. Talk to me, James.
So with my pick in the 6th round, going with Matt Chapman, third baseman from the Oakland Athletics. He was an all-star in 2019. He has 2 Gold Gloves, and he had 6.7 wins above replacement in 2019, which I think is pretty important. I'm like one of the only without a third baseman, and people have been taking 2, so I wanted to make sure I at least got 1.
Yeah, I like it. I think, now we're getting to the point where we've got to start thinking about positional needs over just best player available. We've got Xander Frank on the clock with 57 seconds left. Still got plenty of time. 42 seconds left. Not pressing like we've gotten some of these. And the pick is in. Talk to me, Xander.
All right, so I have had my eye on 2 players here. Good thing I have 2 picks really close to each other. But with the, the
6th round,
63rd pick in the draft, I'm going to be taking Starling Marte, outfielder from the Diamondbacks. We took his brother earlier on, and he's a great player, had a great season last year, and now he moved to a better team with a ballpark that actually favors righties more. He is in his 30s, but I think that's a good sign. He's one of the best. He's a good fielder in center field and a great right-handed bat, so it's a good asset to any team.
All right, and in a quick succession, we have Ben Clossy with the last pick of the 6th round, and the pick is already in.
Yeah, so with my next pick, I'm going to be taking catcher for the New York Yankees, Gary Sanchez. Absolute beast all around on the plate, really good power hitter, and definitely one of, if not the top 3 catcher, definitely in that conversation for like the best catchers in the MLB.
All right, 7th round of the draft. We're coming back from a nice dinner break, and the pick already for Ben Clossy is in. Talk to me, Ben. What do you got?
Yes, sir. So with my next pick, I'm going to be taking Matt Chapman, third baseman. Nope, I take it back. Matt Olson, first baseman out of the Oakland Athletics.
All right, and that puts Xander Frank on the clock starting now. Give me 1 second. All right, we have a minute left on the clock for Xander to make his pick. And it is in. Talk to me, Xander.
With my 7th round pick, I'll be selecting switch hitter Josh Bell from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right. This now puts Dylan Skapetsky, this now puts James Quinn on the clock. And Josh Bell. Talk to me about that one, Xander.
Well, as you know, I've talked about it before. I like switch hitters on the team. He's a good switch hitting first baseman who can hit a lot of home runs, hit for over 30 home runs last season. And I really like the production that he brings out there. And again, I like adding a lot of switch hitters to my team, so that gave him the edge over some other players in first base.
Love it. All right. This now gives us 46 seconds left for James Quinn's pick.
And I do
All
want
right.
to say I'm loving the hat. I'm loving the Scrappers hat.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah.
I do also appreciate.
That's a throwback, Chandler.
I know. It was either this or the Blue Jays hat, and it was a 50-50. I feel like this
Should have gone Blue Jays.
I know,
Blue.
Andrew. It was what? It was 2-1. It was 2-1. It was you versus BMAC and James. Speaking of James, the pick is in. Talk to me, James. What do you got?
With my 7th round pick, the 69th overall pick in the draft, I'm selecting Roberto Perez, the catcher.
All
from
right.
the Cleveland Indians.
All right. This now puts Dylan Skapetsky on the clock with 1 minute 15 seconds left. All right, the pick is in. Talk to me, Dylan.
With the next pick in the draft, I will be selecting first baseman Jose Abreu.
Oh. All right, and that now puts Sam Derringer on the clock. Starting now. Dylan, talk me through your rationale, Jose Abreu.
Yeah, I was surprised he was still on the board. 33 homers last year, over 100 RBIs. Just a good slugger, reliable at first base, be a good player.
All right. Thank you, Dylan. The pick is now in for Sam Derringer. Talk to me, Sam.
Well, Chandler, with my 7th round pick, I was noticing I really need some speed on the team. I really need a gadget sort of player. And with this pick, I'm going to be taking Whit Merrifield from the Kansas City Royals, playing in center field for my team. He's a speedster. He hits for a high average. He doesn't hit many home runs, but we got plenty of power on the team. So I thought Whit would be a great addition.
Yeah, like the pick. That's a nice value pick there. And again, I like the strategy. Gotta think outside the box, and everybody has a really good team. All right, and that puts Andrew Luck with. And then up next will be Brendan McNamara, who sadly could not make it after our dinner break. So I have his wishes in mind, and I will be picking for him.
My pick is in. And I will be I will be selecting Mike Moustakas for my second base position from the Cincinnati Reds.
Sorry, Andrew. Can you repeat that one?
That dude weighs 300. He's playing
Can you
second.
repeat that one?
Mike Moustakas.
Okay.
He's good. He had 35 home runs last year, 87 RBIs.
All right.
Provide some power to the team. He's not really built like a second baseman. He's 6 foot 225, but I think he adds some power to the team that we could use some.
All right. And Brendan's / my pick is in, and we as a collective, I guess, will be drafting Christian Vasquez from the Boston Red Sox to play catcher. Really, that was a direct order from the man who wanted him. Gotta stay true to being around here. And
Good pick.
Plus, you need. Moving on to Ben Platt, who is now on the clock. Thank you for the sign of approval, whoever said good pick. Couldn't hear that. Or I assume that. I hope that's what you said at least. Thank you, Sam. Ben Platt is now ready. He's all good. Talk to me.
For that last pick, I will say Christian Vasquez, though he can't hit, is probably like top 3 defensive catcher in the league, I'd say. So like that side of things, that's a solid pick.
Yeah.
For my pick in the is this the 8th round?
7th.
7th. In the 7th round, I will be taking the center fielder out of Houston, Texas, George Springer.
Taken.
Who
Yeah,
took
it's already taken.
Yeah, taken.
Mother.
Yeah, Ben, I
Fine, you
took him.
still have 1 minute left.
I can come in and sweep and take your pick.
Let's go.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. So I know this guy had a tough year last year, and he was coming off 2 crazy at the plate years. But I think he was just getting situated. He had his first solid good year. So I'll be taking Giancarlo Stanton from the New York Yankees.
Oh.
He's a player that dropped a lot, and he had one off season. But after one pretty bad season, he's just been completely dropped. And he's someone who I still consider to be at the top of the game and at least hitting home runs. He can hit. He could add like Yankee Stadium being Yankee Stadium, easy to hit home runs, whatever. And yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna say
I like it. That now puts Nico on the clock. Talk, Xander. What do you got?
With no injuries in consideration, Giancarlo Stanton is actually a great pick. I was just thinking immediately after I picked Josh Bell, I thought of Giancarlo Stanton, was hoping he'd slide to my next pick because I realized he should have been taken way earlier if injuries weren't in consideration. So that's a really good – that's a steal right there for Ben.
Thanks, Xander.
All right, let's see if Nico can follow up with another steal. His pick is in. Talk to me.
So I'm gonna go with the pitcher here from the Houston Astros. Someone who does who I don't think is a cheater at all. I'm gonna go with Justin Verlander.
Got him already.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Then I'll go with Austin Meadows from Tampa Bay, another rookie. Batted 300 last year for Tampa Bay, and just add more youth to the team.
Yeah.
Kid's a youth guy.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Maybe not the best phrasing for that, but yeah, youth guy. Louis Schreiber is now on the clock. What do we got? We have 1 minute 14 left. Now I have to move through players picked. Speaking of players picked, Louis Schreiber's pick is in. Talk to me, Louis. Or yeah, he's just gonna text me because he has been very unlucky with his internet connection. You can text it to me. Jordan Alvarez. He's gonna text me why he wanted him. this now puts Gabe Rothenberg on the clock for the last pick of the 7th round. Apparently, all of Lewis's players were picked, so he was looking for outfielders. Jordan Alvarez, real motivation for his team. The pick is in, Gabe Rothenberg. Talk to me, Gabe. What do you got? Last pick in the 7th round.
All right. So for the next pick in the ACMi MLB draft, I'll be taking Yuli Gurriel from Houston, Texas. He's a second baseman.
All right. And it is now your pick again. So that concludes the 7th round. So you have 90 seconds. Somebody was about to say something? No, that's fine. Oh, the pick is in? Question mark?
Yes.
Good. All right.
All right. Although I wanted Austin Meadows, Nico got to him first, so I'll take Whit Merrifield.
Already taken, I think.
Already taken?
Yes.
All
By
right.
Sam?
All right.
Question?
Sorry. Then I'll be taking Eloy Jimenez.
All right.
From the Kansas City Royals.
All right. That now puts Lewis Schreiber back on the clock. Gabe, talk to me about what it's like to have back-to-back picks like that.
It's kind of tough. I mean, I like
Yeah.
it. It's probably an advantage, but I don't know. I kind of struggle with it at the same time. I'm also not very good at this, if you guys can't tell.
For you.
What?
Makes this process probably feel a little longer for you.
A little, yeah. I'm not very good at this anyway, so.
I think we're all pulling out some pretty nice teams. I like it. All right. Lewis tells me the pick is in. Now I'm just waiting on his word. Anything? Jonathan Villar. Oh, that's a nice pick. And that now puts Nico Martinez on the clock with 90 seconds. All right. Instead of talking to me, I guess text to me. Lewis. Oh, maybe not, because the pick's already in. Nico must have gotten the guy he wanted. Talk to me, Nico.
So I definitely need some veteran behind the dish. So I'm gonna go with Buster Posey, San Francisco Giants. It's established guy in the league, very respected, and yeah.
Multiple-time World Series winner.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. And that puts Ben Platt on the clock with another 90 seconds. Now, I'm going to be a little quieter now because I have to actually figure out who I'm going to pick. Huh. That's interesting. He's still on the board. All right. We have 33 seconds left for Ben to make his pick, and it is in. Talk to me, Ben. Please don't have picked the guy I just looked for. Talk to me, Ben.
I do need some more outfield, and I'll be taking Eddie Rosario.
Taking who?
Eddie Rosario.
Okay.
From the Minnesota Twins. He had a kind of a breakthrough season last year, and for a team that's still like up and coming and looking to, do better on what they did last year, I think he's a solid pick because they'll be relying on him. They'll give him the opportunities. He'll have a good spot in the order. He drove in a ton of runs, and as a outfielder who's up and coming, still young, he's got with this next season is for him to prove himself as a consistent high end player in the league and potential consistent all-star because he's at that level right now.
Yeah, I like the pick. Personally, I had one outfielder ahead of him left on the board, and it is my pick. I will be picking Jorge Soler from the Kansas City Royals. I found it interesting, or I'll say now that Andrew Donis is now on the clock, but his average draft position for real life fantasy baseball is round, as I just got him, with 48 homers and 117 RBIs. I like the pick. I think that gives me a lot of flexibility in the outfield to get just a nice power guy, kind of like Giancarlo Stanton, but obviously not Giancarlo Stanton because I probably would have picked him here had he fallen to me. But now we have 1 minute and 1 second left for
my
Andrew
pick is
Donis.
in. I will be taking Michael Conforto,
Okay.
an outfielder
Conforto.
from New York Mets. I'm taking a lot of NL East guys this draft.
That makes sense.
I think he's a solid player. He had, forget how many, I'm pulling it up now. He had, 33 dingers last year, 92 RBI, and 27. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Sam Derringer on the clock. He has 1 minute and 21 seconds left. Still got a couple rounds left, but as we wind down on each team, I'm going to ask at the end of this round for the GMs to tell me how they think they're doing. So all of us gonna get a couple seconds just to say how you think your team's doing. Start thinking about that. Pick is in for Sam Derringer. Talk to me, Sam. What do you got?
So, Chandler, with this pick, I'm going to be taking a shortstop. I'm going to be taking Jorge Polanco of the Minnesota Twins. I think this guy is ascending every year. Last year, he was an all-star starter. He's a really solid all-around player, good defense, good hitting, good average, and he's just approaching his prime. He's only 26, so I think he's going to be a great addition to the team.
I like it. Dylan Skopetsky is now on the clock. 90 seconds. The pick is in. Within 5 seconds. The pick is in. Talk to me, Dylan.
So with the next pick in the draft, I'll be picking outfielder from the Houston Astros, Michael Brantley. Did not expect him to be in the draft this late. Solid hitter from the Astros. Finish off the outfield. Pretty happy with that pick.
I like it. Moving up to James Quinn. I do not think that he has gotten a single Cubs player question. I don't think so, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
But as we are almost done with the 8th round, 8th out of 11, of course, for our, or 8th out of 10, excuse me, not out of 11. Pick is in. And James Quinn, talk to me.
So with my next pick in the ACMi fantasy draft, was hoping to pick a Cub, but I don't know, I just don't think it's the best decision right now. I'm picking right fielder from the Minnesota Twins, Nelson Cruz. He made the All-MLB first team as a designated hitter. He's a 6-time All-Star.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really argue with that. That's a nice pick to get, especially this late. Next pick is in. The next pick, Xander Frank, is in. Talk to me, Xander.
All right, with my 8th round pick, I'll be completing my outfielder with the left fielder from the Texas Rangers, Joey Gallo. He's a great power hitter. Hit for 40 home runs in the past 2 years where he played over 100 games. And in only 70 games last season, he hit for 22 home runs. So he's a big power guy, really good fielder, and a great player to finish the outfield.
Yeah, I had my eye on him when I took Soler. I think that's a nice pick. This gives the last pick in the 8th round, Ben Colossi. 90 seconds for him to hit his.
Oh.
pick is in. Talk to me. Talk to me, Ben.
So
Both picks. We're going to hit them back to back. I like it.
yes. So I decided that I needed an outfielder. I decided to take Tommy Pham. Absolute great year last season. Put up 21 home runs and 25 steals, all while hitting 273 with 68 RBIs. I think he's a great addition. I think he can kind of do it all in the outfield.
All right. And then the next pick?
Sure. So my next pick to start off the round, I wanted to take Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman of the Cincinnati Reds, second in the league in home runs last year with 49, 103 RBIs, hit 271, 87 runs, absolute monster power hitter, huge, going to boost the power hitting of my team. Also a pretty good fielder. I think he has a lot of upside. And he's only 28, so he's just hitting his prime.
All right. And that gives Xander Frank 90 seconds. The pick is in. Talk to me, Xander.
All right, so I have 2 holes left to fill in my team. Pitching hole in the catcher position. So I'm gonna take a man whose changeup is the same speed as Clayton Kershaw's fastball from the New York Yankees, closing pitcher Aroldis Chapman.
Yep, that was gonna be my pick.
Remains one of the best closers in the league, even if he's a little bit past his prime. He's gonna get a lot of strikeouts, and with that 100-mile-per-hour fastball, almost impossible to hit, and still a great, one of the best closers in the league, and a great pitcher to come in off the bench.
All right. This now puts James Quinn on the clock.
I have a
He has
question.
90 seconds. Yes, question.
Is it just 2 pitches?
Yes, 2 pitches.
All right. So,
The pick is in. James, talk to me.
So I still had 1 hole left in my outfield, and I had to pick at least one Cubs player. So I'm going with Jason Hayward, Cubs right fielder. I was deciding between him and Kyle Schwarber, and Jason Hayward's got more defense. Kyle Schwarber's got more offense, and I decided to go with Jason Hayward to get the defense because I got a few power hitters in there. I'm gonna round out my team.
I like it. I like it a lot. Moving on to Dylan Skopetsky. And I believe the pick is in.
So with the next pick in the draft, I'll be taking catcher Wilson Ramos. Basically, I need a catcher, and he was one of the solid options available, so I took him.
Yeah. Can't argue with that logic. At this point, we're filling out positions.
Yep.
This is Sam Darringer on the clock. The pick is in. Talk to me, Sam.
All right, guys. So I need to fill that final hole in my outfield, the right field position. And with this pick, I'm going to be taking Nick Castellanos of the Cincinnati Reds. He's a player that hits for pretty solid power. He's done it for the most of his career. He's hit 20-plus homers over the past 3 years. He hits for a solid average, hovering around 300, and I just wanted a really good hitting and fielding player to round out my outfield.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like it. Really filling a need there. And like I said, at this point, going for positions, really. And this now puts Andrew Donis on the clock.
I will be taking Hyunjin Ryu, pitcher.
All right.
Right now, I only have Shohei Ohtani, and he's good. I can't believe he really fell this low. He's one of the better pitchers in the league. He had a 2.32 ERA last year. 2 years ago, he had a 1.97. His WHIP, the last 2 years has been 1.01. So I think he kind of provides, a really, really good starting rotation for me. And it came down to him, and I have 2 outfielders in mind, but I'm pretty sure one of them will slip to me next round. So we'll see about that.
Yeah. Well, now it is the collective of Brendan McNamara and I have to personally thank him for not picking Kyle Schwarber in my pick. I did not expect him to get back to me. I was considering taking him. It was really between him. It was between Gallo and it was between Schwarber at the last pick for me. And I'm very pleased that I ended up getting both of them. I think that they bring a lot of the same things, but I'm going for a more power-oriented outfield. I think that will give me an advantage going against all these really, really strong pitchers, all the aces from every team pretty much. So that is Kyle Schwarber, and that now puts Ben Platt on the clock. All right, he's ready.
With my pick, I still have to fill my third baseman position. I have Max Muncy, so I can mix him in there. I feel like both, even though this player who I will be picking is a designated third baseman, he definitely has the body type and the ability similar to Miguel Cabrera, will probably eventually move over there. So I'll be taking Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Already been taken.
God.
Very early. I think mid-50s.
Yeah.
Who took it?
I don't know. Whoever wants to.
How much time?
Up, yeah. You have another 45 seconds. So that's plenty of time.
Chandler, when was the time where we were going to talk about how we were feeling? Wasn't that supposed to happen a couple rounds?
Yeah, it was going to happen, and then Ben Klosky was such an overachiever that I had both picks ready. So I just went with it. We're going to do that at the end of this round. So Gabe, please don't have both picks ready. So we'll do that, and then that'll be at the end of round 9, which we still have a couple picks left. Yes, we're ready?
Yeah. So
right,
I also need one more outfielder, and this is a hometown lover for me. Though his batting average is not showing it, he's I'd say behind Mike Trout, debatably probably the best defensive outfielder in the league, and still young, very young. Even though obviously all of our hitters are stacked up, so I don't need something who's going to be hitting the ball every time. I'm going to take someone that the fans love. Everyone loves Jackie Bradley Jr.
I like it. This clutch in the 2018 playoffs. This now puts Nico Martinez on the clock. And before I can get the word in my mouth, the pick is in. Talk to me, Nico.
So for my last pitcher, I'm going to select the ace for the Phillies, Aaron Nola. He's a great pitcher, and he's very young, so it's got a long way to go before he is at his peak.
All right, and that now gives Louis Schreiber the next pick, 90 seconds for him to text it to me. Oh, the ageless wonder, Bartolo Colon. I like the pick. Oh, wait.
He's not in the league anymore.
Wait, no. Never mind. Don't ignore that. That is not the case. All right. The next pick for Louis Schreiber, was not Bartolo Colon. It was, in fact, Andrew Benintendi, the person who I thought Ben Platt was talking about when he was saying a hitter who does not have a great average and is a hometown hero. But I really like both of those. So this puts Andrew Benintendi on Louis Schreiber's team and gives Gabe Rothenberg the last pick of round 9. The pick is in. Talk to me, Gabe.
I'm gonna go with my last pitcher with Mike Clevinger from the Cleveland Indians. It's really good. I don't know. I really like him.
All right, I like the pick.
He's a mean fastball.
And now, now we're gonna talk about. I want everybody to sum up how their team has been doing in one word. We're gonna start from the top, and that'll encompass the 90 seconds for Gabe to take his pick. So Ben.
Me?
Yes, Ben Colossi, talk to me how you're feeling about your team.
I feel pretty good about my team. I feel like it's well-rounded. I have a lot of power, a lot of speed, a lot of contact, a lot of fielding, all that. I wish my starting pitchers could be a little bit better. I'm not super confident having Walker Buehler as my ace, but I do think that him combined with Greinke should be enough to get wins, and then the offense should really just carry us for the most of the games.
So if you could just in one word, what would you?
Use that one more time. You broke up a little bit.
Yeah, if you could describe that in one word, what would be?
Explosive.
All right, Xander, what's your one word?
Versatile.
James?
Average.
Very optimistic. Dylan.
Powerful.
What's your one word? Oh, Sam?
Balanced.
Andrew?
Athletic.
I'm gonna go with notable for mine. Ben, talk to me.
Chandler, I caught that, dude. I'd say strong. I got a strong team of or youth. I think youth really represents my team.
Yeah.
I got a youthful team.
Yeah. Nico?
A young team.
Nico loves the youth.
Go to the next person. All right. I'd say clutch when it comes down to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Lewis? Let me ask him to text me his word. In the meantime, Gabe, what is your one word?
It's 2 words, but I'm gonna say heavy hitters.
You can put a hyphen in there. Cool. And that Lewis is not World Series bound. That's technically 3, but he said it as WS. Yeah. So Lewis, star English student. Gabe, what's your pick?
All right. So next pick in the ACMi MLB draft. I'm gonna pick a catcher. Yasmani Grandal from the Chicago White Sox.
No, you're not. I already have him.
Yeah. We had like a whole talk about this when we were figuring out who wasn't in the list. But you still have
Then
a minute
I'll go
and
with
20 seconds.
I'll go with Wilson Contreras from the Chicago Cubs.
Okay. And that puts Louis Schreiber on the clock. Wait, no.
No.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
No.
All right, Gabe. What do you got? You have another minute.
Not confident that no one has him. I'm gonna go with Salvador Perez.
I think you're good.
Kansas City
Pretty sure you're
Royals.
good. Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
All right. That puts Louis Schreiber on the clock. The pick is in, and the pick is Yadier Molina, one of the best catchers of his era of the Cardinals. Nico, your pick. Pick is in. Talk to me, Nico.
So for my last pick, I'm gonna go with a guy who's established in the league, Daniel Murphy, from the Colorado Rockies, first baseman, to fill out my team.
Yeah. There we go. What do we have then?
I'll be taking in the with my pick, someone who really did have a breakout year, kind of like was a solid player. Fill out my last infield spot at third base, DJ LeMahieu of the New York Yankees.
Picked.
Already picked. This is it's tough at the end. We're just out here having fun, but this is tough.
Seems to be a common theme with Platt's picks.
Yeah, I know.
He's not in it.
I have a player lined up that I have genuinely no idea if anyone's taken. We're just gonna hope. Right, you have 1 minute left, Ben.
Skip him. It's not ready.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, jumping doesn't really matter because the odds that you're looking for the same position as somebody else aren't very high.
Yeah, exactly. So just skip it.
So though I love DJ LeMahieu, I'm gonna have to go with Justin Turner of the LA Dodgers. He's actually though people think he's pretty old, his numbers haven't been that bad recently. Last year he still I think had roughly around 25 homers with even though he was out injured. He has playoff experience. He's been in the postseason several times. He seems like a good dude. He's a tremendous fielder. And he hits for power, which you need. He's very versatile and can move around quick for his age, where where people think he's older than what he's supposed to be getting. But he's a solid player.
All right, and the collective pick of Brendan McNamara and mine. Again, sticking with the notoriety theme, somebody who on his day is a very, very good pitcher, but a little bit too often for my liking isn't on his day, and I think that's why he's fallen to me. Masahiro Tanaka of the New York Yankees. Another big name player. If he's on his day, him and Kershaw are going to be the best 1-2 punch in this league. I think that I have one clear ace and a second ace who's not nearly as clear, but I am confident that he can provide when he really needs to. And that is my last pick in this draft. Moving on to Andrew Donis's pick.
I believe Brett Gardner is still available, and I'll be selecting him with my final pick to sear up my outfield. He's a veteran. He's been a great player in the league. I know a lot of you guys might not like him because he's on the Yankees, but a good guy, great player, a great fielder. I'm surprised he fell this late. It really came down to him and Jock Peterson, but I decided to have a lot of young guys. Maybe I should take a veteran to lead in the locker room.
Yeah, I like it. Again, with the strategy, I appreciate it. Sam Derringer, your last pick. 85
All right.
seconds.
Nope. Are you ready?
Take your time, but I'm ready if you are.
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
So with this last pick, this is my second pitching position, and I decided for this last pick to go with a flame-throwing reliever. This is Josh Hader from the Milwaukee Brewers. He is absolutely nasty. He has been consistent over the past 3 years. And I believe he's the best reliever in the game. I know him and Chapman go back and forth, but I think Hader has completely crazy stuff, and I think he's going to be unstoppable on my team.
All right. Dylan Skopetsky, got 90 seconds. The pick in, Dylan.
And with my last pick in the draft, I'll be drafting starting pitcher from the New York Yankees, Luis Severino. And he's struggled with injury for the past year, but when he hasn't been injured, he's been a really solid starting pitcher. So,
and injuries don't exist in this world, so that is a nice pick. That now puts James Quinn clock. And at this time, I have to say that as the draft nears its end, if you've stuck with us this far, thank you so much. And make sure to check the ACMi Instagram page for when these polls go up so you can vote for your favorite GMs, your favorite players. And, make sure to scoot on over there. That was a really weird word to use. Don't know why I used it. Kind of just came to me.
I thought it was groovy, man. I dug it, bro.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Speaking of that, James Quinn's pick is, which is in now. Much appreciated. Talk to me, James.
So my last pick in the draft, I was going to take Josh here, but Sam took him, I think, 2 picks ago. So I'm going to go with Kirby Yates, pitcher from the Yankees. I don't think he's been taken. He was a 2019 All-Star on the All-MLB first team, and he led the NL in saves.
Yeah, great pick. Last 2 picks of the draft, Xander Frank. And then to finish us off, our resident college student, Ben Colossi. We have 1:08 left for Xander Frank. And as I say that the pick comes in, talk to me, Xander.
First of all, I want to say I'm surprised that Trevor Bauer has not been picked at this point, but I need a catcher, so I'm pretty sure that he has not been selected, but again, I'm not 100% positive since I've kind of lost count in this last round here. But I'd like to take Wilson Ramos from the New York Mets.
Taken.
Yeah, taken.
He's taken?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to take Kurt Suzuki from the Washington Nationals. He's already taken?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, yeah.
Kurt Suzuki's not dead yet?
No,
Taken.
he's still going. He hit 17 home runs last season, was solid behind the plate, and Nats won the World Series. So
Xander, how old is he? He's old, right?
Mature, right?
Very old.
Yeah, he's not a youth.
Look at that.
The real question is he a switch hitter?
Kurt Suzuki's that's a good question. Kurt Suzuki is 36 years old.
Oh, quite old.
Gotta have a leader in there. Last pick, Ben Colossi has
a mature man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's gonna watch this? You think it's gonna be? You think we're gonna get viewers? You think? Because I think this whole
I mean,
for me,
all the people.
No, like to be completely honest, like
the pick.
All right, you can go. Sorry.
Yeah, no, the pick's in. But after that, talk to me, Nico. What do you got, Ben? Last pick in the draft.
Yeah, I'm going to be filling out my outfield. I'm going to take Malik Smith, Seattle Mariners. Not led the league, but led the NL in stolen bases and hits 307. So,
yeah. I like it. And that closes with our Mr. Irrelevant pick. That closes the ACMi MLB fantasy draft. All right, Nico, what were you saying before?
No, I just saying that I feel like all the GMs here put a lot of hard work into thinking about what players to pick, and whoever's watching this, just make sure that you know that everyone here put a lot of time and effort in drafting our players. So, yeah, leave a like. Subscribe.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Like and subscribe to ACMi, your source of Arlington High School news, updates, and more. Shout out to Ponderscope. Shout out to the sports
Yes,
update.
sir.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Everything.
create my team on MLB The Show 20.
Some mixed media there. Yes, but make sure, speaking of mixed media, make sure to go to the ACMi Instagram page now or whenever it's up to check that the polls are up. You can pick for who you think would win. This is very important. The polls are not up as of us doing this because the teams are not done, or now they are. But we have for those of you watching now as they come out, remember that we have 4 more drafts coming up in the next few days. We have a soccer draft, we have an NHL draft, we have an NBA draft, and then finishing off with an NFL draft. So we're going to have a lot of sports content in this sports devoid world that we're living in right now. So now I guess I'll say thank you for coming. Thank you so much. If you skimmed through it, that's cool too. Much appreciated for putting a view on the video. And we as a group say thank you, and we're out.